keep the main thing the main thing. I'm going to be talking about that coming right up.
Listen, ShySpeaks, 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 ShySpeaks.
The corporation Adidas just made a $565 million move that I believe can help the group of people that I am so passionate about, and that is small businesses. Help them do what? Keep the main thing the main thing. Listen, businesses exist to serve people and to make profits. But when a mishap occurs, it's all too easy to cancel the entire situation trying to cancel the problem rather than finding a truly viable solution that will serve everybody best. In this video, I am going to cover the decision by Adidas, who recently discontinued their partnership with Kanye West. But still, I'm sorry, this is so smooth. They're still releasing their remaining inventory of the Yeezy sneakers. Oh my goodness. Listen, by the end of this video, you're going to understand the 3 major maneuvers that Adidas use that you can apply to your small business should any type of deal go awry. Okay. I know a lot of small business owners. I was raised by a small business owner. I believe that small businesses make the economy go around. But all too often, small businesses allow their size, their up close and intimate business relationships to make it to where the personal side trumps the business side. Now, if you haven't noticed by now, I am not about to talk about Kanye West and the Adidas situation and anti-Semitics and none of that. I'm not here to talk celebrity news, right? What I'm talking about is the beautiful synergy that has just come from them releasing, deciding, and choosing after months ago. Months has gone by since that conflict has happened. And if you missed the conflict, I'm sorry. But it was all over all the news outlets, all over the social media. People were talking about it all the time at that time. So we're not about to talk about it here. Huge conflict. They decided to part ways with him. And instead of moving quickly on what happened next, they took some time and they made 3 maneuvers. And these 3 maneuvers are so dope. And I think that it's highly possible that you haven't heard about it because we love controversy and I love like positivity and synergy and solutions. And so let's actually show you basically, okay, so basically, here we go. Boom. And as you can see, let's watch what happened. This article happened a little bit. Let's go
Yeezy sneakers. That's the shoe line designed by the rapper formerly known as Kanye West. Adidas, you remember, had pulled the shoes from its stores in October after cutting ties with Ye, as he's now called, over his anti-Semitic comments. NBC News business and data reporter Brian Chung joins us now. Brian, so Adidas hasn't really changed its stance on Ye. They're still parting ways, right? But they're selling the signature product now. Is it selling?
Yeah, well, and they're officially on sale today. And for what it's worth, Adidas had been grappling for months about exactly how they would go through the over $1 billion or so of inventory related to Yeezy that they had already ordered prior to cutting their ties to him in October. So there were some options out there, like, for example, destroying all the sneakers and the clothes, by the way, which is also part of this, or maybe donating them, but ultimately they decided to sell them with a, quote, substantial or significant amount being donated to organizations that combat discrimination and hate, like the Anti-Defamation League.
Whew, okay. So, okay. As we can see, there was about $1 billion. Like I said, it was how much inventory? There was a little over $1 billion. How much money was Kanye losing? But at the end of the day, like even with this situation, once we knew that they were going to do the deal, we still didn't know like how much inventory are they going to sell? how much Kanye is going to get out of the situation? How much money are the organizations who is fighting hate crime? How much are they going to get? Right? Because this is what they just said. So let's finish this.
Which is the way that Adidas is choosing to go about it. So they are on sale, but again, we don't know the numbers to those sales. We don't know the volumes to those sales. All we know is that they have a lot of inventory, a lot of shoes and sneakers to try to sell through.
And given how many they have to sell, who do they think is buying? I mean, I know they were popular among sneakerheads. You're a sneakerhead, not a secret. What do you think?
Yeah, well, prior to all of this, right, the Yeezy shoe was largely regarded as one of the most popular shoes out there. You would
Hold on. By the way, I don't know. The Yeezy shoe is real to me. I'm not a fan of the Yeezy shoe, but I know a lot of sneakerheads who would disagree with me. But let's just get back to it.
have it very difficult to actually get your hand on a pair of sneakers, and they would resell on secondary markets for 2 to 3 times as much. Not necessarily the case anymore because of the complete contraction in demand for those shoes because of the anti-Semitic remarks associated with the rapper that was partnering with Adidas to make these shoes. So who is buying it now? Well, you could make the argument that people who want to support these anti-defamation league initiatives to combat hate, because some of the money is going to be going there. The problem is we don't really know how much of the sales are going to be going there. When they say significant amount, that also implies that Adidas is still going to pocket some share of those proceeds. So we don't really know, but again, it could be simply just talk from Adidas's point.
As we can see, like you said, we don't really know. It's again, it was still a lot of questions out there to be determined on how much inventory, like how much money is Kanye gonna make. So it was still but the verdict is in. $565 million were sold in the pre-order that Adidas released. Just here recently, a few days ago, and now I'm just amazed at the 3 maneuvers that they use. I want to talk about those maneuvers because again, I think that everybody can use these, especially small business owners. So number 1, they handled the business, right? So despite the differences that they have, they decided that we are going to actually clear the inventory. Okay, because at some point they were talking about just burning it, and I've been around small businesses all too often. When things go wrong, they let their personal feelings get in the way, and they're like, "Oh, I don't do business with this person." And what about all this inventory? And what about all this merch? Well, they can have it, throw it away, but just kind of real letting you. But here's the thing: how is throwing all that away? Is that really good for the environment? Like, oh, that's waste. We wasted a lot of material, right? So that's not good for the environment. Like, also, at the end of the day, you're in business to serve people and to make a profit. You're going to lose profits, but you were like, well, ethics over profits, my morals over money. That's great. I'm happy you feel that way. But as a business, is that the right thing to do? Is that handling business? And in my opinion, it is not. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But your primary objective is to continue to serve the people. So how am I serving them by closing this? Because perhaps you'll say, well, I'm serving that group of people who wouldn't want me to be tied up and wrapped up with anybody that's doing our business this way and acting that kind of way. And so, but the solution they came up with was very clever, and that leads me to maneuver number 2. So first of all, number 1 was that they handled the business, right? Just handle business. Don't handle your personal thing. Handle business. Business is to make profit, serve people, right? So they handled the business. How can I make a profit still? How can I continue to still serve people? They serve 2 different groups of people. Number 1, they served the group of people who still want the Yeezy shoes. They were waiting on the next drop, and they were mad when they found that they weren't coming out. Number 2, they served the group of people who felt affected by this hate speech, so to speak, that they said that Kanye was doing. So now this group of people who want to since the organization is going to give a portion of its proceeds to organizations that are fighting the hate, so to speak, then when you buy a Yeezy shoe, you're also helping fund an organization that's out here on the front line pushing the cause. Like, Now you're serving two groups of people. People who feel like, yeah, let's rally behind, so they're gonna go buy he said, who's gonna buy the shoe? Two groups of people. Number one, those who actually like sneakers, and then number two, those who particularly want to buy the sneakers to support those organizations. So now I serve organizations, and those organizations are going to go and serve a lot of people, as well as it served the key stakeholders involved in it. Oh my goodness, that is such. So what I believe is strategy number two, and that is they strategize the spend. Okay, so this is what you need to do when you're in business. You got to handle the business. Make sure the business is taken care of. Clear the inventory. Send the invoice. Write the contract. Send the note. Do whatever you're supposed to do. Do that, because that's the principal thing for what you're doing. The second thing is to strategize the spend, and that is to come up with a win-win outcome, right? So it served two different people groups, actually served several people groups, and then not only that, you still know that Adidas is going to get their cut, and Kanye is going to get his cut for being the designer of the shoe. So at the end of the day, Kanye is still going to make money, which was why they were in business as well. And he was serving people with his cool design that they think is all like, I guess this is how they see Kanye's design. But this is kind of how I see Kanye's design. No, the shoes are okay, but basically they're paying him. He served people with a unique design, and he made profit for it. And Adidas served Kanye. You see what I'm saying? So all key stakeholders walked away with a win, and they served several people groups, and they waited, they strategized. How can we spend this for the good instead of burning it? And so the people who heard about it, or whose feelings were hurt, or who were affected, no, we don't want to. We want to affect generations to come. With if we sell $1 billion worth of shoes, and I'm sure that's probably hundreds of millions of dollars going to different organizations. That's going to affect this generation and the next generation and the next generation and then I'm telling you, you got to strategize the spend. How can I spend this situation? Yes, it went bad, but how can I spend this? And that actually goes into what some people would call like a PR type of situation, more of a publicity thing, right? They're not just doing what's good for publicity. They did good business, but they also spend it as well, so that when I go buy shoes, I don't feel bad that people are buying shoes, because every pair of shoes you buy is going to, you see, come on, you got to spend it. And then the last thing is that you have to, in business, in my opinion, this is a masterclass, stick to your ethics. It could be $1 million on the line, 2 million, 10 million, 100 million, 1 billion on the line. But you have to stick to your ethics. And I say that because despite the fact that they're selling these shoes, they're still not renewing the partnership. And this is a note that we can take out of the book of forgiveness and reconciliation, right? If I had time, I would preach and give you several scriptures on how you are supposed to forgive, right? And you are even supposed to reconcile, but the degree to which you reconcile is up to you, right? And so, yeah, I like what they did there. They did some kind of reconciliation, but not all the way, because at the end of the day, to fully reconcile will be to go against their ethics. And so, if you have a business, whatever your values are, don't go against them. I believe that this was an overall positive outcome with mostly wins in this situation. I believe that there is a way to have a positive outcome in every situation in business, even if it's negative, if people take time to, number one, keep the main thing the main thing. Number two, if you sit down and you actually strategize and you spin it, sit down with a group of people, y'all have a think tank, wise counsel, and you spin it until you win it, right? You spin it until you come up with a winning solution. That is synergy. And then lastly, you never depart from your own ethics, because if you do that, then you basically may not be avoiding this same pitfall in the future. Whatever your pillars are, whatever your values are, you have to stick to those, right? No matter what. It sends it sends the best message to everybody that says, hey, we got to go with what we feel is right. We got to go with our ethics. We got to go with, Now, we're not getting into whether Adidas is right or Kanye is right or whatever, but at the end of the day, Adidas, it's their prerogative to say, this is our decision, this is what we believe is right, and that's what a business has. That's their prerogative, and so is your prerogative. These are your values, these are your morals, these are your ethics, and if you decide at whatever point in time you're going to sever a relationship, you're going to come up with something synergetic or synergistic, do that. But at the end of the day, stick to your ethics, right? Stick to them, because in doing so, you're going to be avoiding a pitfall so that you can kind of lend yourself to an even greater positive outcome in the future. This is my perspective on the entire situation. I could be wrong. Is there something negative here? Yeah, 565 million dollars on the line. That's not positive. That's a mess. If that's how you feel, I've missed it. Feel free to inform me in the comments. But for right now, I see this as a win-win situation. I'll see you in the next video.
Listen, ShySpeaks, 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 ShySpeaks.